Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Makila and I have a quick message of encouragement for you all about trusting the process that God has you in right now. If you are experiencing any type of difficulties or struggles in your life, you got to understand that it is for a reason. You got to trust the process that God has you in because God knows what he is doing. God is a God of process. God is a God of order. And God wants to bring you through this process so that you can come out on the other side of this process even better than ever. So if you are in a difficult season, you got to understand and to be content where you are. Trust the process that you are in. God wants to get the glory out of your story, but he cannot get the glory if you don't go through anything. Your faith has to be tested. So when life starts to go crazy, when things start to go wrong, when you start to go through difficult seasons, you got to hold on. That is your time to get closer to God. God wants to change something in your heart, but he has to put you through a process in order to do that. Without a process, there is no promise. Your promise is on the other side of your process. And a lot of people mess up because they get in the process and they think that things are not working out for them because of all the hell that they're going through in the process. But when you are starting to feel that fire, that is when you need to turn up the heat. That is when you need to press into God. That is when you need to get even closer and get in God's presence. That is not the time to give up. And a lot of people give up when they're in the middle of the battle. When they're in the heat of the battle, they give up. Don't give up. Because when you give up in the middle of the process, you are delaying your destiny. So if you don't endure the process, God cannot get you to your promise. When God delivered the children of Israel into the wilderness, they complained their whole way through the process because they didn't want to go through the process. And God was trying to show them some things. God was trying to teach them some things so that they could be prepared for the promised land. But they complained. They started to sin against God. They turned their backs on God. And guess what they did? They wandered for 40 years. God couldn't deliver them to the promised land because of their rebellion, because of their sin, because of their constant complaining, because they gave up. Don't be like the children of Israel. Trust God through the process. And then think about all the things that God delivered them out of before he even brought them to the wilderness. God sent signs and wonders and plagues on the Egyptians so that he could show them, that he is God in their lives, that he is Lord over their lives. God did all these miracles and they still turned their backs on them. Think about what God has already done for you in the past. Think about all the blessings and answered prayers that you are currently living in right now. Do you have a car right now? Do you have a house right now? Do you have an apartment? Do you have a job? Did you have those things 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 10 years ago? Think about where you used to be and think about where God has brought you to this far. That is how you will learn to be content in your season that you are currently in. The problem with the children of Israel was that they were not content. They didn't learn how to be content in the season that they were in. So they fumbled the bag. They fumbled their opportunity. God has so much in store for them, literally a land flowing with milk and honey, but they didn't see the vision. They didn't see the vision. They couldn't see past their current circumstances and their current situation. They didn't see or couldn't see what God was doing behind the scenes. God was working things together for their good because God works all things together for the good of those who love them, but for the good of those who love him. But you got to see the vision. You got to see past the current situation that you are in right now. You have to learn how to be content in the season that you are in. Contentment does not mean complacency. Complacency is different from contentment. Contentment is, okay, I know I'm not where I want to be right now, but I'm going to be happy and enjoy this season and work this season so that when I do get to the level I'm trying to get to, I will appreciate it. I will be prepared for it. Complacency is more so, okay, I guess there's nothing better than this, so I'm going to stay here forever. No, God does not want you to be complacent, but God does want you to learn how to be content in the season you are currently in, because if you never learn how to be content in the season you are currently in, you will never truly appreciate the season that God is trying to take you to. So how do you be content in the season that you are currently in? Number one, you have to ask God for the lesson he is trying to teach you in the season you are in. Every season comes with a lesson to be learned. You have to learn that there's a reason why things happen. So instead of just complaining about all the things that's going wrong in your life, ask God, what are you trying to reveal to me in this season, God? Are you trying to change my heart? Are you trying to teach me how to have patience? Are you trying to teach me how to forgive? What is the lesson that you are trying to teach me in this season? Number two, you have to see the abundance in your everyday life. You have to see the peace, the joy, the love, and the abundance that is all around you. How can you have abundance in your everyday life? Even if you can't go on a vacation right now, how can you make your home feel like a vacation? How can you go take a trip to the beach? Can you take a trip to the park? Can you go to a nice vacation themed restaurant? Think about what you have right now and how can you see the abundance in that? You can take a walk, go out in nature, count the trees, look at all the trees that are around you. Look at all the birds, all the animals. There is abundance to be found in our everyday lives. You got to consistently seek to see the abundance in your everyday life, because when you change your mindset, that is the only way you will start to be content in the season that you are in. See the abundance and the joy in what you already have. If you do not learn how to see the abundance and the joy in what you already have, then when you do get to your next level, or when God does decide to bless you with what you've been praying for, you will easily forget it. You will easily not appreciate it. Because I remember me personally, 3 or 4 years ago, I did not have an apartment. I didn't have a job. I didn't even have my driver's license. And I didn't have a car either. And now I have all of those things. And a couple months ago, I found myself in a very depressed state, feeling like I was not where I wanted to be in life. I wasn't happy. But I had to stop and think, wait a second, I vigorously prayed for all the things that I have right now 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I did not have none of these things. And I'm literally living in one of my answered prayers right now. So and that leads me to number 3. Think about the answered prayers that you are living in right now. Think about things that you prayed for 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 10 years ago that you are currently living in. When you start to reflect and think about all the good things that God has done for you, think about the things that he has brought you through. That is how you will learn to see the abundance in your everyday life. That is how you will shift your mindset. You got to shift your mindset to a mindset of gratitude, because when you have gratitude, that is how God will start to move in your life. When you show God that you are grateful for what you have right now, that makes him happy to bless you with more. But he can't just give you more. He can't just drop a bag on you or just give you the things that you want just because you pray about it, just because you ask for it. God has to see that you are ready for it. God needs to see your faith has to be proven. It needs to be proven to God that you are ready for the blessings that you are praying for. So those are my 3 tips on how to be content in the season that you are currently in. Please remember to pray, get in God's presence, and trust the process. Thank you so much for watching this video. I pray that this video has blessed you, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye.